Welcome to the Unmute Your Midlife podcast, where we take you from foggy and forgotten to focused and lit up. I'm Joyce, your nurse turned midlife resurrection strategist and the cheerleader in your pocket. I'm here to remind you your next season in life is your power era. Today's episode is Why Do I Feel Invisible After 40? The truth about midlife confidence and menopause. So picture this. You're out here, you're holding everything together, career, family, responsibilities, but somehow you've disappeared in your own story. So let's talk about it. I know for me, I had days where I just felt completely invisible to my family. I could be gone all day and no one would know. I could be at the checkout counter at a store or restaurant, trying to call out my order. And it's like they would just look right over me or right past me and not even hear me. And I'm like, am I invisible? What? I don't get it. Now, I will say, one time I went to one of those Comic-Con. It was a mini one in our local town. And I wore a Deadpool costume. I was the female version of Deadpool. I was not invisible that day. People remembered me. But you can't dress like that every day. Nor would I want to. But I just want you to know that it's very common for us women to feel invisible in this period of life, especially compared to how we felt before. Like we feel like even if whether you're the life of the party or a wallflower, it doesn't matter. You're going to have days where you feel like, does anybody even know that I still exist here? And you are not alone. You are not the only one experiencing this. It happens to many of us. We start to feel insecure about the physical changes, so we might fade back a little, or we aren't as needed by our kids who are aging and our spouses who have their own issues. So the phone stops ringing every 5 minutes. And then you start thinking, what's wrong? Why does no one need me? No one wants to talk to me. And instead of being relieved and happy and excited about our newfound freedom, we start feeling like something's wrong. So we're going to talk about reframing how we look at these things. There is a role that hormone plays in this disappearing act that we feel that's happening to us. And there's a role that society plays, because society tends to make us feel like we're past our prime if we compare ourselves to what we're seeing on social media or what we see on magazine covers or TV ads. So you got to be careful not to fall for that. Don't play the comparison game. Again, with social media, you're looking at people's highlight reels. They're not showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly. They're just showing you the good. You can't compare your worst day to their best day. Another thing that happens is our identities, they tend to shift. Instead of feeling sad or insignificant that the kids are growing up and not needing you as much, we can rejoice in our newfound freedom, because that means now we have time to do the hobbies we've always wanted to do or pursue our own interests. That stack of books you've been buying to read later, you can start reading them. The hobbies that you always wanted to do, but you couldn't because it required having a babysitter, well, now you can go do them. There's also this confidence gap that sometimes hits you after age 40. You've got the hormones acting up, your identity roles are shifting, and then there's the cultural expectations. And then you throw in the health challenges. Like if you're not getting enough sleep, you're not going to think straight. You're always going to be a little foggy, a little tired, a little snappy. It's going to contribute to your confidence declining. We can also look at our career and go, I thought I would be further along than this. Or you get to a point in your career where you're responsible for so much and it's too much, when you're having trouble remembering the name of your dog, then you have to go to work and be responsible for these 50 people in your team. It can be overwhelming. So some practical tips I have are to do a mindset reframe. Visibility is not about looks. It's about your voice. Whether or not people see you is not about what you look like. It's not about your appearance, literally. It's about the voice that you project, the message that you project. And so when you get up in the morning and you're getting ready in the morning, I want you to get one of those like dry erase markers or the chalkboard markers and write yourself notes on the mirror that you're going to repeat to yourself in the mirror in the morning. That's something you can do to start your day. And if you feel goofy saying affirmations, then find a Bible verse and personalize it. You can always take Psalms and insert your name and write your favorite Psalm up there, or any kind of verse that makes you feel empowered. And you're going to say that to yourself, and you're going to look yourself in the eye in the mirror, and you're going to say that. One thing that I did is I went and did a color analysis. I did, House of Color was the one that I used. I can send you a link if you want one. Just send me a message on Instagram at JJ McCall. But I went to House of Color. I did a color analysis, and they give you a little swatch panel so that you know what colors work with your skin tone, your hair color, your eye color, all that. And then I came home and I cleaned out my closet. I got rid of everything that was not in my palette. I got rid of everything that didn't fit or needed to be hemmed, mended, anything like that. If I either fixed it right then or I got rid of it. And then I keep my little color palette in my purse so that if I am out shopping, I only buy things that are in my color palette. That helped me stand out. Like, as soon as I did that, people were like, "What are you doing different?" I'm like, "Nothing. I just literally nothing, just wearing different colors than I was." That helped me to stand out, increase my vibrancy, I guess you would say. I don't wear fancy clothes. I wear t-shirts and workout pants a lot of times, but I wear colors that go with my palette. Another action step that you can take is try speaking up. Conversations where you normally feel like you're invisible or people aren't noticing you that much. Try to make an extra effort to speak up politely. Don't interrupt people. Don't be rude about it, but like just say, wait, I had something to add. I'll tell you something hilarious that happened to me. When I started mountain biking, I think I was 42 when I started mountain biking. And there was this, like the first day of the winter solstice, they would do this ride at this lake in the woods. So I got these lights for my tires and I was very excited to go. It was a night ride. I got helmet light. My husband ended up having to be out of town that weekend. And my other riding friend that I had was busy. So I was like, well, I'm still going to go. I'm going to go because I want to do this. I've been so excited about this night ride. And I was very new to mountain biking. I think I was on my second bike, but I still didn't have tubeless tires. And I didn't really know how to change my own tire very well, especially not in the dark. So I go and I didn't know anyone there. So I kind of just like went from group to group because before the ride started, they were all kind of hanging out around these bonfires and they had a beer tent and they had pretzels and cheese. They had food out there for afterwards. And so there was people who were setting up the food tents and then all the riders were like standing in groups talking to each other. And so I just kind of wandered from group to group trying to see if I could like get to know someone, and they would all be talking. And I would be thinking to myself, okay, as soon as he stops talking, I'm going to say, "Hey guys, I'm new. My name's Joyce." And I never could get a word in. And I would try to, like, they were standing in tight circles because it's chilly out. And I would edge my way into the circle, like to be part of the group. And like they weren't having it. It was the weirdest thing. And it wasn't that people were trying to be unfriendly. They just didn't know me. So they weren't making room for me. So then the ride was ready to start. And I was like, oh, I got to go grab my bike. And it was still locked on my my bike rack. So when I finally get back over there, one lady had noticed me and she introduced herself and she's like, "Well, you can ride with us." And she's like, "But you better go get your bike. We're getting ready to start." So I go get my bike, come back. They're all gone. And so I asked somebody, I'm like, "Well, where does the trail start? Because I don't know." And they had hung like these big Christmas ornaments along one side. They said, "Just keep the ornaments on your left and you'll find your way through the trail." So I hurry and I get in there. And the next thing you know, I've got a flat tire. Mind you, I've never ridden this course. And so I don't really know my way around this little forest. A couple of people stop and try to help me, but we can't get the tire to hold air. And so he says, "We just go that way and you'll get to the fire road," which is like the road the fire trucks go up and down if there's emergency, for them to get in and out of the woods. And that'll take you back to the parking lot. And so I go that way, and I don't know how I did it, but I proceeded to take myself deeper and deeper into the forest, nowhere near the fire road. And I watched my phone battery go from 75% down to 30% because I'm using the map, trying to get myself out of there. And I'm going to be honest, I started to freak out a little bit. I called a couple people. I'm like, "Do you think you could figure out where I am if I drop a pin and tell me how to get out of this trail?" And then finally, this guy came up and he had started late because he had got off work late. He's like, I can't just leave you out here. Why don't you ride my bike and I'll carry your bike? And I'm like, no, my bike is really heavy. I said, just go finish your ride and then come back for me with a new inner tube and I'll just keep walking. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And so then this other couple comes up and they had gotten tired and were walking and they're like, well, we'll walk with you. We're too tired to ride. And so they walked with me. We did the whole course walking while I was carrying my bike because I couldn't keep rolling it or I'd ruin my tire. And I ended up getting to know these two people really, really well. Like, I still know this lady. I actually bought a bike from her for my daughter-in-law. I don't really know what the moral of the story is other than sometimes it's hard to speak up and get noticed, but don't give up. I made a great friend that day. I also met a great, good Samaritan who stopped. And when I finally got through to the end, I ate my hot dog with relish because I was starving. And then I made it a point to learn how to change my tire and always have the right emergency stuff, A. And then B, I went back there during the daylight and I rode all of those trails until I was comfortable with that place. Again, that was kind of a long story, but I felt very invisible that night. And then I felt very frustrated. And then I felt redeemed at the end. So you never know what your interactions with other people are going to turn out to be. Don't give up on people. Don't give up on yourself. That's the moral of that story. If you want to check the show notes, I'll put in there a link for House of Color. If you want to check them out, there's other options too for color matching. So just to recap, I want you to work on reframing your mindset about what visibility actually is. It's not about your appearance. It's about your voice. It's about the message you're projecting. And then the one action step I want you to take, you can pick. You can start doing daily affirmations, write them on your mirror. You could try speaking up in conversations where you're usually kind of mousy and quiet. Or you can maybe get your colors done and start dressing in colors that make you feel alive. All right, friends, that is today's dose of midlife truth. I want you to remember you are not foggy, forgotten, or finished. You are just getting lit up for your next season. If today's episode hit home, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a sister who needs some help unmuting her own midlife. If you're ready to go deeper from just listening to actually living out your own transformation, then send me a message on Instagram. My handle is @JJMcCall, and send me the word reset. Until next time, keep unmuting, keep rising, and remember, your midlife resurrection starts now.